I feel very fortunate to be sitting here with Mr. Ken Ralston, who is over there. I'm pointing in the wrong direction on my screen.
Well, let's see. I'm Ken Ralston, visual effects supervisor. I started at ILM on Star Wars when we were down in Los Angeles. Went up to Marin County. We did some movies. And then people liked the movies. So we had jobs for a long time. And that's kind of it.
That's a good summary. End of the video. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
See you later.
So we started talking again here because of the Weequay maquette, which you sculpted for the Jedi Creature Crew. So for folks out there, we're doing this line of maquettes. It's called the Archive Collection. We're going to the Lucasfilm archives and scanning all of these amazing little bits of concept art into the digital space so that we can output them really as accurately as possible for people. And, we've got a few out so far, and Weequay is the next up. Primarily on Jedi, you're doing visual effects, space shots. How do you wind up going from models and stuff to making these maquettes?
The first thing I did on Jedi was to be connected to the monster shop that Phil was heading up. And that was asked, what kind of designs can this whole group, right there, that's why ILM was so great. All of you people, why don't you put your hands in it, get to some paper, whatever, sculpt. You're all being offered this chance to come up with some stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
Right.
How fun is that?
They didn't just hand you a bunch of designs and say, here, make this. They said, dream some stuff up.
So we all did our thing. So there were drawings and some maquettes. Some maquettes I did more elaborately. Mm-hmm. I was trying to come up with an idea for the Weequay character that was, some of these are supposed to be out with Jabba's hut, Jabba the Hutt's, ship out there, his boat thing. And in the desert, it's hot. What would that look like? And then I started sculpting it. I guess I was flashing on the old Moby Dick movie and Weequay. Of course, it doesn't look anything like that person, really. And I didn't even put any tattoos on his face. I think at the beginning I probably was thinking of doing it, but it wouldn't work with the wrinkles. So I just started doing that, just the head, and sculpted it in Sculpey, cooked it, painted it with acrylic paint. Had fun, had a great time doing that. And there's the hair piece. I don't know where I got that fake hair from, and the ponytail. Yeah. And just, it was fun coming up with the little nonsensical things that go on it. You never knew what George was going to pick out of this stuff. So that was one of several others that I had done. And some of them made it into the movie.
Yeah. Well, and the Weequay, it's funny, so they call him Weequay throughout the production process. It looks like there's lots of little call outs and names here and things. And I definitely, what you're saying resonates. It's like, you saw something and you pulled the inspiration from it, but you didn't copy it, and something new came out of that. And I think, that's kind of a thing all effects guys kind of do. We absorb, we digest, and then we spit out something new. But I just think it's a really neat maquette. I think it's got that sense of nobility about it. There's that stoic head back. I love, there's like an indication, maybe it's like a little ear hole or something way in the back, because he doesn't have, he's got big ears, but he's got something else behind it, and he's got like,
I'm trying to remember, did I put something in his ears? Or
he's got a little earring in one ear, the top.
Oh, okay.
And I know he's got like a little necklace on, which
just stuff I found, or
it's neat. It's a really cool one. It's, of course, all those little elements you add onto it just make it harder for us when we go to recreate this stuff. So thanks, but but we're doing our best, and it's going to be a really neat addition. It's funny, actually, the prototype is hanging out up on the shelf over there. When it came time to take those maquettes and turn them into full-size stuff, were you still in the creature department at that point, or you had moved on? So
at that time, then Phil and the other people in the monster shop, which you can walk over and visit and see what they're doing, go see what's happening on Star Trek 2, go see. That's the way the place was. And what a wild, great time that was. And go in, and I'll be honest, I don't think I ever said this to Phil, and I apologize, Phil. I always was a little miffed that Weequay was sculpted to look older and more haggard for the movie. Puffier, he sort of lost that stoic sort of thing that I was going for.
He was a little more
like an old. He was an old Weequay.
All right, Phil.
Phil.
Yeah, gonna have to have Phil on next, and we'll just fight this out. I feel like this would be the time in the talk show where like, we've got Phil right now, and we bring him in
right off camera here.
We're now almost 40 years since you made that little sculpt. Probably over 40 years, because you probably did that in, when you were very young at the time, though, so it's fine.
Oh, boy.
So 40 years later, that character now, and I don't expect that you're necessarily following along all, because there's so much Star Wars that comes out.
Probably not.
But, so in one of the animated series, there's a big character who's a Weequay alien. There's a character that showed up in the Mandalorian show and the Book of Boba Fett, who's a speaking role that's a Weequay character, one of the more foreground.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's one even in the Disney ride down in the Star Wars land in Disney World. They have.
I guess maybe Disney lost my address or something. I haven't got any royalty checks.
That's weird. Yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's tough to keep track of stuff. Look, it was 40 years ago, so
maybe
they sent it to the old address. I probably got returned. I think, but it's kind of neat that design endures. How does it feel when you see stuff like that? When you come back years later and you see people are still buying action figures of something you sculpted?
I don't know. I mean, it just seems very surreal to me. I feel very lucky that we had any chance to be involved with all these different aspects of the movie. And I mean, come on. I mean, even now, how many years later, and it's still, we're discussing it?
Yeah, we're having this talk, and that's...
We're having this talk about this movie that's 40 years old, and it's like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
It's too weird for me to take even seriously. It's just kind of an odd part of our society. It's just an amazing moment that these films are so big for so many different generations.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful place to cap this great conversation. I thank you so much for just all your time today, for chatting about all this old stuff and new stuff, and calling out Phil Tippett. And
it was great. Had a blast going down what's left of my memory lane.
I think that's a perfect place to end this. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit the button however the kids do it. And thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye.